from Christy. How do you write for characters that have a different ethnic background than you?
Well, that's a great question, and we're really the discussion right now is really caught up in that, because when I made Hey Arnold in the '90s, one of my goals was to mix it up and have a bunch of ethnicities, people from all walks of life and different colors, and I wanted to basically show sort of an idealized urban environment that was sort of reflected my world in LA, because I think one of the great things about LA for people who don't live here is it's a great melting pot. Yeah. Most cities are now, most cities are that way, but it became so. And LA was really kind of a leader of that, where you realize, man, just about half this population is Latino. Latino and Black and Asian and white, and all these people are all, in these neighborhoods together. And that really cool mashup of these different cultures that I thought was really, like the music I was listening to in the mid '90s was that kind of LA was a real mashup place. So it seemed like it was enough to show that then. And I thought it'd be great if Gerald was Black. I would love Arnold to have where I told you about the tall, skinny. I thought, what if he had a really funny, like high top fade? That would be funny. It'd be cool. And so that was really what made me make Gerald Black in the first place. I thought, well, this would be cool. And yet to write for a Black family, you would say, what am I doing writing for a Black family? Which nowadays has become quite a bit more so. We cast all Black people to play the Johansson family, and mom, dad, sister, brother, and Gerald, they were all Black actors. So that's a start. And it kind of even helps you kind of in your authenticity. We would write for Gerald based on the way Jamil is really a super funny character. He brought a lot of that, the way the phrasing and the pacing of the way Gerald says stuff. We would hear him say it a certain way and go, I love that. I'm going to write more of that. So that kind of authenticity was there. But, in terms of trying to write for other ethnicities than my own, nowadays it would be more like, it's like, well, you really should have Black people on your staff writing Black characters, and so on, Asian people, and so on. And so there's more of a call for real authenticity now than there was in the '90s when I made Hey Arnold. And so it's interesting. It's like in the '90s, we were kind of doing our best just to even be representative of different kinds of ethnicities on the screen, thinking that'd be cool if you were a kid and you saw Gerald and you're like, well, hey, cool, finally a character that looks more like me. And I get a lot of that. People tell me that now. I mean, we did it this summer was the summer of Black Lives Matter, and every creative person was like, hey man, where do you stand on that? What do you have to say about that? Not just to kind of sit on the sidelines, but to say how you feel. And so, in the 1st of June was when that stuff really got where it is. And I did that Black Lives Matter thing where people had like a couple weeks to make a donation to some of the ACLU and some of the Black Lives Matter charities. And then they send us the receipt, and then I would send them a digital image of my Arnold and Gerald Black Lives Matter picture, and autograph it to them. And if that was a certain amount of money, I would draw their favorite character in the thing. But it was just basically me going, yeah, of course Black Lives Matter, and so I should do something about it too. But we are in a different time now. This is a time where people, it's not enough to simply have even that kind of representation on the screen. You need to recognize that mostly white people got to make cartoons in the first place. How can you mix it up, bring in people, all kinds of different colors, and obviously all kinds of every gender, and mix it up in a way where it's almost not enough just to say, oh, here, look, my show's got a Black character or a Latino character. You need to go bring in the Black writers and so on. So it obviously that's really ongoing, and it's more of a challenge now because it has to be more authentic than it ever was before. I think the world has really changed. I don't think it's the same world as when I started making cartoons at all. And also, you've been in the business long enough to know, Nico, that the whole business changes every 5 years anyway. It's always, we're always faced with a new challenge because, hey man, it's all digital now, or we aren't shooting on film anymore, or we're, things constantly change, and it's up to us to try to change with it.